Pharroh, Patrick told me when you called him this summer looking for a place to play, he was at Wimbledon. What did you say to him on the phone?
I literally said, Patrick, my coach has just told me that I can't play for the team anymore. And he was like, don't worry, we'll figure it out. Called Coach Will, like literally a couple minutes later. I had an email a few minutes after that.
Yeah, I was going to say, he made it sound as if it was, he hung up on you to call Coach Williams.
He was just like, don't worry. And then got on to helping me out.
Well, where were you before you came here? What was the name of the school?
St. Rose. College of St. Rose, Albany, New York.
How in the world could they not have a place for you? I mean, you've been dominant when you've come here. All these double-doubles. Do you expect that kind of success coming here?
I didn't expect it, but I knew, I wouldn't say I deserved it, but I knew I'd put the time in to be able to get rewards like that or like accolades like that. But, I mean, I was in a tough situation back there, and I don't know, it was hard for me at the time, but now I'm here. I don't regret it at all.
We're glad to have you. It's been a fun start for you guys. You've played well, but on this team, everybody seems to play every position. What position are you mostly playing at this point?
I'm kind of a hybrid between a center, a power forward, a small forward. Like I do them all. It really depends on the lineup. I mean, to start the games, I start as like the big man, so to speak. But none of us play as bigs on offense apart from Emil and Isan. And on defense, because I'm the biggest guy, I have to guard the biggest guy. So.
Yeah. Is that new to you, to have to defend the biggest?
The biggest guy, definitely. I've had to guard inside a little bit, but being strictly defending inside is new to me. Yeah.
And yet there's real advantages to that, because I would imagine you have been quicker than most of the guys you've guarded.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, that's the real bonus for me playing that position, because if I can get a stop or my teammates can help me get a stop, then on offense we really can't be stopped. So
we kind of talk about this in a half-court game kind of a sense, but boy, in the open floor, it seems like you really love that.
Yeah. Growing up, me and Patrick went to these camps in the summer called Pro Camp. It was run by this guy who played in the NBA, and he was huge on conditioning. And so literally all we did was, if it was a basketball drill, you were running in it, or it was a conditioning drill. And then that translated into coming into the season, because everybody's out of shape. You know, they're using the season to get in shape, whereas we've used the preseason. And so it's just like track meets, let's get a rebound, go.
Right.
You know.
Well, I want to talk about your relationship with Patrick in a moment, but first I'm curious about, did you play other sports in Great Britain?
I played football, or soccer, call it, but I played football a lot growing up. But besides that was it, really. I didn't like playing rugby. I was terrible at tennis, cricket, those are the sports. So.
How about soccer? Are you, because you're from Manchester, Man U fan?
I'm an Arsenal fan. I was born in London.
Okay.
But if I was to choose between United and City, I'd pick United.
You follow it real closely?
Yeah,
I imagine. Now let's go back to Patrick. When did you meet him, and how did you meet him?
I think I first saw him playing. We were playing for different teams, and we must have been 10, 11, playing for this kind of community league on a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning, I think it was. And he played for this team that just dominated every game. And I was the best player on my team, and they wanted me to play for them, but I don't know, I was really good friends with the guys I was playing with. And so I stuck with it, and then through that, I got invited to the Manchester tryouts. And so then I met Patrick, and then from then we've played together ever since.
About how old were you at that point?
12.
12.
Yeah.
You have played very well with him too. He was telling me about you guys kind of you keep a running tab on how many games you've won, or especially the ones you've lost.
Yeah.
You have any idea what that number is? How many you've lost together since age 12?
Since 12, 11 games, counting the one game we've lost this year.
You've lost 11 games since you were age 12 playing with Patrick.
11 games.
So you know him pretty well?
Yeah.
Tell me what's the most annoying thing about him, because he's such a nice guy.
Most annoying?
You don't have to answer that if you don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, you know Patrick, he's never annoying. Sometimes he's quiet, but sometimes I'm quiet, so
yeah.
There's really nothing annoying about Pat.
Yeah. What's his strength as a player?
I mean, his college career has just been phenomenal. He's turned himself from a true point guard to a scorer to a guy who can now do anything. So.
Right. What would he say your strength is?
Probably my motor. I just keep going and going and going. I know, I kind of see it as a strength. It keeps me going a lot. So.
Well, when you're on the floor, you have that mask on, that competitive mask. How did you get to be so athletic? Your family athletic?
Honestly, I don't know. My dad played a lot of sports growing up, but I mean, he's only 6 foot, 6'1". My mom, she didn't really play too many sports. You know, she's in good shape, but she's not, you know, a supreme athlete or anything. But
right.
I guess it was just from always running around as a kid and always wanting to be outside, riding my bike and stuff, and then having practice every day, I guess, helped growing up. So
yeah. Well, tell us first of all your mom and dad's names.
My dad's called Robert. My mom's Sally.
Okay. And how about the rest of your family? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I have one full sibling, but I consider all of my siblings like my full siblings.
Sure.
So I have my brother, Cyan, that's my full brother. And then I have 3 half-sisters, Melissa, Rochelle, and Venice. Then I have 2 stepbrothers, you call them, Charlie and Henry.
Yeah.
And a stepdad now, Tony.
Good athletes?
To be honest, Charlie's really good at football, but Henry doesn't do too much these days. But
yeah. So you when you get home and you play what we call it in America the backyard or the driveway, you dominate, don't you? You take him to the rim, you dunk on him.
Something like that, yeah. I mean, my little brother, he plays basketball. He's going to be good. But,
is he? Okay.
Yeah.
How about the name Pharroh? Where does that come from? Is there a story behind that?
My dad says it just came to him one day, and he says he knew what I was going to look like, he knew what my name was going to be, and yeah, he doesn't know where it came from, really. People think that it's like to do with like the Egyptian pharaohs and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
Yeah, I mean, it's spelled different, and he's never said it had any connection to that. My mom if you ask my mom, she'd say, I don't know, it's just his name.
Just his name, yeah. How about this nickname you picked up since you've been here?
PJ.
PJ, where does that come from?
One day, I think it was Easton, he just said, "What's up, Pharroh Jordan?" You know, my last name's Gordon, but he just Pharroh Jordan, and then it just
PJ stuck.
Yeah, it just stuck.
Right. Pharroh, when you are done with, let's say, William Jewell, you graduate.
Yeah.
What's the next step for you? What would you like to do?
Hopefully, I can just play. I mean, I'm not too fussed about where I end up going, but hopefully, I get a nice spot somewhere, and I can just keep playing basketball.
Right. When basketball runs out, as it all does, then what?
I mean, I wish I could tell you that I have this game plan set out, and I'm going to use my psychology degree for something, but really, all I can see myself doing is playing, coaching, and if I figure something out along the way, then that's a bonus.
Right. Finally, could you give people an idea of what it's like? Because you have, in some ways, a little bit more of a challenge than an American student going to school here. Not only are you at a high academic institution, you're playing Division II basketball, you're away from home. What has the whole experience been like for you?
When I first came to America, it was kind of challenging. I had to redshirt my first year, and so I wasn't playing basketball. I was away from my family, and I've never been the biggest fan of school. I've always done well, but I could never say I've enjoyed it. But it's like anything. Once you spend enough time in that situation, you get comfortable, and I've met a lot of great people. I made a lot of great friends, and then coming here, the basketball situation is obviously a lot better. We're winning a lot of games, and my best friend goes here, and I've made a lot of other great friends here. So,
well, it's been a great start, obviously, and I'm sure it's going to be a great finish too, which is kind of more important. But it's great to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for being our guest.
Thank you very much.
And we'll be back with more after halftime in just a moment.